Nice to see you both. We are now live on YouTube and on the social app. So welcome to Generation Female, and welcome to our panel on Capital Futures Investor Insights. So I think our objective for this panel was very much to profile both women investors as well as offer insights for women looking to invest or better understand how to enter this industry. So today, we're very honored and happy to have both of you with us. And I think, I just want to start off by inviting you guys to introduce yourselves. And I know you've sent me some slides, so I'll invite Fausto to go first and then Luca. So if we're okay with that, I'll start putting on Fausto's slides, and then Fausto, you can start.
Okay. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me, Shireen and Anna. I am really happy to be here. And I think this will be probably the first one of a long series of webinar. And so I think we will have a lot to share also in the future. So I am Fausto Pavasio. I am an angel investor and advisor to startups. I live between Milano and the Nordics because I have two daughters, one in Copenhagen and one in Stockholm. So I travel back and forth between Milano and the Nordics. I have worked all my life as a strategic management consultant with focus on innovation and technology. And I started working with startups more or less 10 years ago. And I became an angel for coincidence because I had equity in exchange for professional services the first time. And so I became a shareholder of a startup just because of that, what it is now called work for equity. And then, I met like-minded people, both men and women. We started sharing ideas about startups and information about the economics and following some interesting company. And so I ended up in doing a second investment and then the third. And now we can go ahead. I have a portfolio of 9 companies. I actually had an exit a couple of years ago. I have 7 startups in Italy and 1 in the UK. And I underline the one in the UK because, in my opinion, it is really important to start with cross-border investing because I think that if we need to compete at a global level, we need European companies, not Italian or German or French. And so it is very important to build networks of angel and to share information about the company growing in the different geography and then being able to help each other to expand in other countries. And I am also advisor with working with 2 funds. One who is trying to support European startup to go to the States, and another one is a Nordic fund who is launching now in Italy an accelerator, Startup Wise Guys, we are just launching now this initiative, very international, very tech-oriented. And then I have different other positions. So I run what I call the portfolio career. So I am working on different projects in different areas. What are my personal motivation for working in this arena? First of all, giving back. I graduated in information technology 43 years ago in 1977, so I have had a long career, very full of rewards and very interesting. And so I think it is time to give back to the system something, maybe helping new entrepreneurs, especially women entrepreneurs, to start or to go on this journey. I would like to make maybe a little impact on economic growth. As you may know, the startup ecosystem in Italy is very well behind, and so, you know, pushing on this can be really interesting for me. It is also a matter of financial diversification because, you know, if you invest a little bit of your saving in the real economy, probably is good for yourself and for the real economy as well. And then I think I can make good use of my experience sharing with others, and moreover keeping up with technology, because I think it is important to be knowledgeable and to be in the market and to be aware of what's happening, to being able to speak around the future, and also maybe, you know, being able to have chats with your children or your grandchildren without feeling too old. Sometimes, next slide, sometimes they ask me, how do you start a career in angel investing? Actually, for me, was quite a natural path, as I said, but there are more structured ways. I can make some example. For example, joining an angel club, and here in Milano we have a women club, Angel for Women, a club of women investors investing in women-led startups. You could join crowdfunding platforms, start investing little money on crowdfunding platform. And again, we have a number here in Italy, and they all are regulated, and so are a very safe way to start putting some €100 in and start investing a little bit to start the experience. Or if you are a little more sophisticated, you could start investing in an early stage fund or a special purpose vehicle. For example, with Startup White Guys, now we are raising money to launch between 4 and 5 batches of 10, 12 companies in the next couple of years. And so, you know, investing a little ticket on Startup Way Guys, for example, you can be able to have a portfolio company and maybe do follow-on investment in the most interesting one in a later period when you see result or something like that. I think that we can stop here because I see the time is running, and so the other slide are probably subject of the question time. So I leave it to you and Luca. Thank you very much, Shirin.
Thank you very much, Fausto. And maybe I'll turn the mic over to Luca to give his introduction. Give me 1 second. Let me pull out the slides.
Okay, could you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. I introduce first myself before going through some slides regarding my last investment, that is Club Deal Online. It's very simple for myself. I divide my career in 3 blocks, and the first block I spent 10 years running traditional portfolio in long-only funds. So I was portfolio manager for 2 big companies. One is a Deutsche Bank company. The other one is another big asset manager in Italy, Banca Nazionale del Lavoro, SGR. I was portfolio manager for listed companies, so different from private. I mean in Italian equities and European equities. The second part of my career, I moved to the hedge fund business. So I set up my hedge fund. I was a lead portfolio manager and founder of one long-short equity fund, and then in Switzerland, and then I moved back to Italy, and I was CIO of the and alternative investments running fund of hedge funds. And so in this time, instead of selecting a company, I select managers because, fund of hedge funds is a part of the hedge fund business, but the target company is another fund. So it's a great experience to in the asset management world. And then the last experience that I think that Fausto knows a little bit about Euclidea. So I decided to use my experience and to share the digital boom or the digital wave or the fintech wave, as you like, to set up a so-called robo-advisory or world tech advisor, but very similar for a US name, robo-advisor. So a digital offer in a portfolio manager via the web, so cutting the cost for final clients 50%. And so I was one of the founders of Euclidea in 70, so I started up for sure. And after that, I became in love, so I decided to invest my money in after Euclidea, but obviously it's a different experience like a founder. I ran the company for more than 3 years. I am still in like manager, board of director, investment committee, and all the daily management work. But as I said, I wanted to diversify my personal portfolio, investing in another startup. So I joined like partner Club Deal Online. But it's a good example to introduce not only my last investments, but a good example of private crowdfunding. And if you want to go on the slide, I spent only a couple of minutes presenting. Thank you, Club Deal Online. That is, as I said, the first private crowdfunding portal. If you are familiar with the crowdfunding world, is one of the fintech opportunity in the digital space. So a new way to invest money for small money, if you like, in a traditional crowdfunding. Club Deal Online is, I love it because it's very different for 2 reasons. The first, it is private, so it's not for everyone, but it's very similar what Fausto introduced, an angel club, is in our opinion in the middle, so in the middle between a private equity fund and an angel club, because it's as a equity crowdfunding for sure, but private. So we selected the people who goes in. And the second, in my opinion, key point for explain what I love in this company is the B2B2C model, and we want to grow the company with agreement with the traditional world of private banking, bank, and family office and other. And this is in summary what is Club Deal Online. For the investment side of this experience, for me it's an opportunity not only to be an investor in this company, but an opportunity to go in some way to my first work, to select a private startup, private company, and analyze this company, and then offer to our portal that opportunity to the final clients. So it's a long way in my experience in the investment world, and from public to hedge funds, and from hedge to a startup like founder, and then back to the origin to stay in the middle between between a company and investor, and this is what a crowdfunding portal do. I finish, obviously I think it's one of the, correct, if you want to go on the presentation, I try to, usually I don't speak about what I wrote, but about the opportunity in the investment world, I think that everyone agree that private investment is a new wave of opportunity for a couple of reasons. One of it because all the investor has to fight or to consider the negative interest rate, and the second you can achieve a better return, obviously in a long-term time, investing in private company instead of public company. Obviously taking more risk. This is the name of the game. For me, it's enough the presentation.
Okay. Do you think you could quickly maybe share with us what you mean about this unique investment model through Fiduciaria?
Yes, it's very simple. Usually, when you invest in a company, for example, I go a little one step back to my experience like founder of one company. Usually, like Fausto introduced, you have a business angel. For example, when we set up Clidea, we are very lucky to have the seed money from 4 business angels, and usually the company, any company, decide to have a cap table, so all the shareholder show in the company. The unique investment model through Fiduciaria is a way to put all the investors from a legal point of view in one company, the Fiduciaria, that is one of the 2 usual way that you use when you invest. And in this way, we offer to the company and to the investor the best way to invest. I mean, you have for the company side only one investor, that is Fiduciaria, and the Fiduciaria is represent all the, for example, 10 or 20 or 30 investors. If any one of the investors put I don't know, 500,000 or 1 million, it's not a matter of how many money they invest, but it's a great advantage for the company and for the investor.
Got it. Thank you.
I don't know if it's clear. It's a little bit not easy to understand.
Thank you, Luca, and thank you, Fausto, for introducing yourselves and your company. So, I mean, I think to start off the discussion, I wanted to ask you guys, maybe take a step back and just ask you guys as investors, how do you choose which companies to invest in? So are there key principles or philosophies guiding your decisions? And are there any particular companies that you find exciting or that have a lot of potential, and why? And I guess maybe Fausto, would you like to go first, or?
Okay, of course, the first thing is to understand at which stage of the company you are investing. I am an angel investor, and usually I invest at the very early stage. That means when the company is just incorporated, and so what I am usually saying is that numbers are important, but there are other factors that are much more important. And actually, I am looking usually at 4 indicators, 4 factors. The first one is that the company has a game-changing idea. I mean, changing a product, changing a market, changing a process, whatever, but something that is game changing. The other one is that the company has a technical asset, and by technical asset, I mean a patent or a platform or some software design, something anyway that can be a barrier against potential competitors, at least for 6-12 months, so that, you know, to be able to have an advantage against competitor. The third one is scalability. So the ability to scale very, very fast internationally. And so I am looking at company, I say that think big. When I know that you have to start small, but you have to think big since the beginning. And that means team, which is also what the, you know, best American super angel are saying, because that means that the most important factor are the team. You need a team that is very well balanced in terms of skill, competency, both soft skill and hard skill. And I am looking, of course, at female founder, because we are trying to push female founders, but I think a great value is the diversity. So I am usually looking at companies that have, if not a female founder, at least a female at the managing level. Just to take care of diversity. These are the factors as I am usually looking at.
Thank you, Fausto. That was very clear. And have there been any particular companies that stood out that you know excite you recently?
You know, to me, probably the most exciting one is a fintech, and Luca probably know them. They are called Satispay, is a payment. Mobile payment company, and I met them at the really beginning, and they are doing really well now, and we are supposed to have another big round of investment by the end of the year, early next year, and this is really exciting because it's what I call real innovation. They invented something that did not exist earlier. Payment without being on the basis of card, credit card, or debit card, or something like that. Inventing a new technology behind it.
Thank you, Fausto. And then I guess while we're on the topic of fintech, I'll turn over to Luca to ask you, you know, what companies excite you? What are, you know, any key principles, or what guides your investment decisions?
Thank you. It's very difficult to add value what Fausto said, because I explained very well, probably better than me, what is the key point. But I totally agree what she said, because what I love, and it's very exciting, or what I did in the past, investing in public company, listed company. In any case, I agree, because even if it's a more organized work, like portfolio manager in big company, I loved in the past to see the macro picture, to understand what is really the game changing, if there is a strategic, so-called top-down view of the manager. The manager is the key. So I totally agree. And moving to the private, so not listed or private company, in the checklist that I agree, the first that I put on the top is to go, for example, in fintech world. So if the real a disruption opportunity, obviously having an experience specific in financial or asset management, for me was easy to understand. Sorry, nothing is easy, but it was clear the opportunity in 2015 about the fintech and try to understand, in particular, if we move to the world to Italy, that was my startup Euclidea, to understand which kind of opportunity, the macro opportunity of the changing of the world. So it's like investing in a trend, and you have the trend in your favor, not against you. So it's the macro picture is then it's as Fausto said, you have to check the people, the founder, the key team. So it's not you box the first checklist, but obviously it's not enough. And for example, remaining in fintech, the other investment is Club Deal Online, is again another, for me, in the fintech world, is an opportunity that it's in temporal after the first opportunity in wealth management, because now it's a great speak every day about increasing the private investments size. So the size of the private investment is increasing from final investors. So it's again an opportunity. Is disrupted or different the Club Deal Online business model? In my opinion, yes, obviously, because I invested. But it is again is the first to check or to priority when I decided to invest. To be honest, I have less experience in another company. I invested personally in a company that covered the space world, but obviously I don't know nothing, but I love or I understand again the macro opportunity that the space is becoming in the next year. So for me, it's important. As I agree that it's less is more important than the numbers, is for sure.
Thanks, Luca. And I mean, since we're on the topic of maybe macro opportunities or the bigger picture in that sense, I mean, the elephant in the room, this whole COVID-19 pandemic, has that changed the macro landscape? Has that changed the opportunities or the trends? How are any particular industries or companies coming out better in this new normal, or is there even a new normal? I guess I don't know. What are some of your thoughts on this? Luca, Fausto.
Luca. Okay, I finish and then I leave Fausto. Yes, for sure. For sure, you have the check seeing what's happening again in the listed in the equity market, and you have this big difference in performance from the digital or tech company in the Nasdaq to the traditional company. And this is a big change, and you have to check if you are an investor or in any case a manager of any company, if to check this is the world before and this is the world after. Not for all the company, but for most of the company, like for example in financial, you have to see how what is probably at the beginning, like the digital experience, for example. Now it becomes the first point in any manager checklist, because you have to offer for sure a digital experience or digital solution for your clients. You cannot. Before the COVID, it was an idea to offer a digital channel. Now becomes a must. So you have to offer, because if the people stay at home, they can go nothing. They have to do, unfortunately, like this call, we have to change our world, and this is obviously for the company very quick to change.
Okay, yes, I completely agree with Luca. Of course, the pandemic has been a push for digitization, for dematerialization, for e-commerce, for all this sort of businesses. But again, I go back to the team. to the teams. I think that in this pandemic we have seen the very good teams, because the very good teams have been able to adapt really quickly. Of course, a startup is by definition something that has to adapt quickly. But you know, in this pandemic, we see the good teams pivoting new revenue stream, changing maybe a little bit the business model, or changing a little bit the strategy, and really quickly, really fast, getting back on track and getting back to the point. So, I mean, of course, there are a number of sectors that have been impacted in a favorable way. But you know, we have seen the good people again taking advantage on one hand, even if it's not a nice period, but taking advantage of the discontinuity to do something different.
Thank you, Fausto. So we're actually almost running out of time. So I do have a couple of quick last questions. I guess since this is the Generation Female Global Summit, I'm just going to ask you guys to comment on, you know, the challenges faced by women in this industry. Maybe for Fausto, what challenges you have faced yourself, and you know what advice you have to other women, and for Luca, maybe how men can be more supportive of women in this industry. And I guess, Fausto, do you want to start with?
Okay. This is, of course, I mean, both tech and finance are very man kind of areas. So I remember I told you I graduated in information technology in 1977. In Torino, I went to work to the Fiat Group, as all the people in Torino do when they finish to study. And I remember at the onboarding day, the first day, I was the only girl in a group of 12 people. So there was myself and 11 man engineers. So it was not easy, but I mean, I think the world is plenty of intelligent men that understand the value of diversity and that can really help you. And so the most important thing is, on one hand, to have help and have the men thinking of us as a colleague, not as women. And then trying to overcome those biases that are common in general in this sector, in these areas. I do not like actually gender quotas or this sort of things, but sometimes a push is needed. And I leave to Luca, to the man, what man can do.
No, it's a very tricky question. To be honest, I think that the point that is as we said before, talking about COVID, for the company, for any sector, any company, of the digital finance, etc., is you have more opportunity, or you have to change your business model. But it's clear that at the end you have to changing, as Fausto said, your model, adapting a new world, a new norm, etc., etc. But this is not only for a gender point of view, it's an opportunity, because most of the what I usually say cross work, like marketing, or digital marketing, for example, is a great example, because it become across all the sector, and this is increase the opportunity of most of any people to work in different sector, because all the old style company have to change and have to use more technology, more digital, more social. So any change, this is an opportunity for for new job in all the sector. This is I don't know if it's clear, but this is the idea that is not considering the female or male gender.
Yeah. Thank you, Fausto and Luca. I mean, I think like what you're saying, you know, a lot of it comes down to the team, and it's important to have a balanced and a diverse team, and whether that diversity comes from gender or the diversity comes from different skill sets and backgrounds, or, you know, there's certain, you know, cross-disciplinary skill sets that are useful, or that level of experience, like Luca mentioned, in marketing or things like that, that even though you may not be, you know, in finance your whole life, you can still bring something to the table, and that's important for any company. Before we end off, I do have one last question, maybe just a quick one. What advice would both of you give to aspiring entrepreneurs looking to raise funds and capital? What stands out? What impresses you? You know, what advice would you give to them?
Fausto first.
Luca? Yeah.
Fausto first because more experience. No, for sure. I stay on the other side of
the first thing I say to the entrepreneur is you have to be the first investor of yourself, because you know, too many times, especially here in Italy, I mean, abroad is a little different, but especially in the Nordics, but we meet teams with people that are still working on old economy jobs or something like that, trying to become entrepreneurs at night and Saturday and Sunday, and this is not possible in my opinion. So the most important thing to me is that the founder teams put time and money in the beginning. So otherwise you will never find investors. I am always saying, why do you have to believe in you if you yourself don't believe in you? So this is the thing. You have to be really passionate about what you do, and you have to put all your effort, all your resilience, whatever, in this mission. Otherwise, it is not going to be possible.
Thank you. And Luca?
No, I usually totally agree. I had my totally agree for the founder point of view. I had only that it seems stupid, but if you have more than one founder, all the 2 or 3 founder has to put the same amount of money. It seems stupid, but it's so crucial because, as Fausto said, it's you have to take the same kind of risk. Not if I put 90 and the other founded 10. So we have this kind. Second, to be totally agree on the time horizon of your entrepreneur idea, company, etc., etc. That if you wanted to have hoping an exit, it's fine, and you have to explain to the investor who could be the buyer, and if you wanted to spend in the company, but it's again it's fine in any case. If you want to stay in the company and to build the company for the next 20 years, it's fine, but you have to probably to go to other kind of investors. So it's very two simple rules to be day one completely, that if the 2-3 founders align of which is the goal, the money, and the objective of your company. If you have clear in your mind this, you can go to the investor and explain, we set this to sell, or we set this for the next 100 years, it's fine. But you have to be clear day one.
Thank you, Luca. Those are, you know, very interesting insights. So I'm just gonna do a quick wrap up. So if I could, you know, just pick out a few key points that stood out for me in today's session. I think it's important in general for everyone to have a sense of the bigger picture and know what's going on, and this allows you to be that, to position yourself to be the game changer, maybe, to know what's next. Teams are important, and from teams, diversity, again, diversity of gender or of skill sets. And you know, when you start out with an idea for entrepreneurs, you have to know, believe in yourself. You have to be your first investor, and all founders should believe in themselves and the product equally, and also have an endpoint in mind, and just know what your goal is. Well, thank you very much, Luca and Fausta. It was a great conversation, and I wish we had more time. And I guess for anyone else watching on the Generation Female app, I believe both Luca and Fausta are on the app, so you can drop them a message if you want to get in touch with them to find out more or pick their brains on something. Right, so that's all we have for today. Thank you again for being here and being part of the Generation Female Global Summit.